Hello everybody, this is Zax299, and wow, do I have something special for you now that you're clicked on this video. This is a kinetic novel, they call it, and really what it is a short novel. There's no choices, no game elements at all. This is available on Steam for $1.99. It's brought to us by Afterthought Studios, who has a motto of touching hearts through words. And the author of this short novel, Darren Kwok, based this novel off his actual experience of caring for someone with dementia. So I can tell you flat out that I've already read the entire novel. It can probably be read by most people in the neighborhood of 30 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, somewhere in that range depending on how fast you read. So I can tell you that the developers for this Kinetic novel have a rule that they don't allow the full thing to be read in a YouTube Let's Play. So thank God for that is all I can say, because if I had been doing a Let's Play and reading this thing my first time while I was recording it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Let's just say because I think my wife was cutting up a whole bunch of onions in the kitchen, and yeah, you know how onions are, right? Yeah, that's it. No, it's a really heart-touching story. Maybe one of the most heart-touching stories, especially for its short length, that I've ever read. So what I'd like to do, people, is I'd like to go ahead and read as much as I can with my 15-minute allotment that the developers are allowing. And, kind of let you guys listen to it and see if maybe it tugs at your heart. Maybe if you know somebody with dementia, maybe you've had a parent or a grandparent, or maybe you've kind of seen somebody that you really love change at the end of their life. Maybe you've seen the frustration on their face, as they try to struggle to remember something that just happened moments ago. And, you can always feel the frustration in people's face and their eyes and everything when this happens. It's really hard to watch, especially if it happens to somebody you love. So if it has happened to somebody you love, if you've dealt with dementia or like Alzheimer's, then, this is probably going to be something that's really going to touch you. So I want to go ahead and warn you about that. But if this is something that, inspires you, that you would like to read the full thing, definitely look down below in the description below this video. There's a link there where you can go purchase this on Steam, $1.99 in American currency. So hopefully with my video here, I'll be able to give you guys a good idea if this is something that might be special to you. It was very special to me, and I'm glad I came across it. And I'm, very excited to be able to share this with you. So with that, let me go ahead and start off by setting a timer here, because I don't want to go over my 15-minute allotment. And let's go ahead and get this started, shall we?
Wake up, you old fool.
I opened my eyes slowly at the insistent urging, grunting, and protest. Is it another day already? I should get up and feed Maybelle then. With a great deal of effort, I push myself into a sitting position. However, when I finally will myself to open my eyes, I almost fall back in surprise at the unfamiliar face peering back at me. Who is this person?
Quickly, come and have your breakfast.
I sit there for a moment, staring at her in silence. It seems rude to ask her who she is and what she's doing here, but considering she is the stranger who is randomly showing up in my house, I suppose I have the right to ask. I clear my throat, working up the courage to voice the pressing question. My voice croaks, still thick from sleep.
Sorry, who are you?
The old lady freezes, as though caught off guard by my words. There is a beat of silence as she just looks at me intently, making me cough in discomfort. Why is she staring at me like that? Do I know her? Finally, she smiles softly.
It is me, your wife, remember?
Suddenly, it hits me like a ton of bricks.
She is my wife, Madeline, whom I've been married to for 40 years. How could I have possibly forgotten? Of course, haha. I don't know what got into me there for a second. I apologize. I stand up, walking over to the dining table and sitting down. A content smile spreads across my face at the sight of eggs and bacon on the plate before me. Looks like the hens laid their eggs without problem today. When is Maribel coming back? The question spills out of my mouth naturally without thinking, but a strange feeling instantly strikes me. Something feels off. Is something wrong with our beloved daughter, Maribel? Madeline sighs and sits down in the seat opposite to mine. She pats my hand and smiles indulgently. Dear, Maribel is gone. She passed away in the plague 30 years ago. Madeline's words ring a bell in my mind, but the memory keeps slipping away every time I try to grasp at it. I shake my head in confusion. My memory has been getting worse and worse these days. According to Madeline, if this thought is even correct in the first place, my memory is failing me to the extent where I sometimes am unable to recall what I've had for breakfast just moments after I finish eating it. Remember to use your knife when you're eating, dear. Madeline places the knife in my other hand and smiles encouragingly. I try to move both hands together at the same time, but for some reason one hand is exasperatingly less responsive than the other is. I let out a frustrated sigh when my knife falls onto the table with a clatter after my 5th failed attempt. Madeline sighs softly before moving to sit beside me instead. She briefly squeezes my hand in a comforting gesture as she reaches for the fork and takes the knife from me. Carefully, she cuts the food up into little pieces. You big baby, say ah. My sheepish smile turns into a more genuine, happy smile. This reminds me of our first date, decades ago. I open my mouth and she feeds me a small slice of bacon. I chew on it slowly, savoring the taste. This really reminds me of when we went to the high tower for our date. Madeline seems surprised, her eyes widening a little. You can remember that? I give an enthusiastic nod as she feeds me a small slice of pork sausage. I was meeting your parents officially as your suitor for the first time, and there was a small boat nearby. We stole it and sailed out to sea. I can still remember all the apples you brought along in your basket. They were delicious. We fed each other apples while watching the waves in the middle of the ocean. We did. You are right. There is something different about Madeline's smile as she speaks. It's even wider and happier than before. I wonder why. Isn't it common for couples to talk about their shared days from the past? As she continues feeding me, I swallow obediently. I am well aware of the fact that I am, to an extent, a burden on her. The least I can do is to help relieve her stress by being compliant. When the last of my food is gone, she dabs at my mouth with a cloth and moves back over to her own seat to start her own meal. As I watch Madeline nibble at her food, I can't push away the feeling that I'm forgetting something I need to do. What is it? I frown in concentration. Suddenly, an earlier thought pops back into my mind. Ah, Maybelle. I still need to feed her this morning. I immediately get up from my chair and walk to the backyard, hurrying in case this thread of thought leaves me once again before I complete my task. To my surprise, the spot where Maybelle usually stands is empty. I look around wondering if Maybelle is hiding somewhere, but I see no sign of her. I shout loudly to Madeline. Madeline, where's Maybelle? Maybelle is our cow. I got her from Mayor Orland as a birthday gift years ago. Since then, she has brought in countless coins with her good milk and has quickly become one of our most prized possessions. Silly old fool! Maybelle died last year. I scratched my head, baffled. Is that true? Since Madeline says so, I suppose it is. I returned to the house, giving Madeline a quick kiss on the cheek when I walked by. Stopping in front of the fireplace, I plop down on my armchair with a sigh. The fire crackles, and I watch the familiar flames for a while before getting distracted by the basketball trinkets next to me. Feeling curious, I decide to examine them. I pick up one peculiar-looking item and stare at it for a long while. I then try to take it apart, but I fail. Perplexed, I set it back down in the basket. It's irking me how it seems so familiar to me, yet I can't recall what it is exactly. Dear, I'm going to the market. Do me a favor and stay where you are, okay? Don't worry, I wasn't planning on going anywhere. I smile and bid her farewell. A loud click on the padlock ensues, signaling that Madeline has left. With nothing else to do, I pick the trinket up again and continue to toy with it. Is it a piece of iron? A toy? I can't quite tell. I'm startled out of my daze when the thunder rumbles. Thunder? Is a storm brewing? I look out the window to check, and I frown in surprise at the dark, cloudy skies. It seems like just a moment ago when the sky was clear and blue. I wonder how much time has already passed. A sudden blinding flash of lightning causes me to flinch, squeezing my eyes shut reflexively. It looks like there really will be a storm, perhaps even a bad one. In that case, Maybelle needs to be brought into the barn. I'm already at the front door when a surprisingly clear thought flashes across my mind. Right, Madeline said that Maybelle is dead. With my concerns taken care of, I return to what I was doing previously. I'm determined to figure out what this item is. I'm still not quite sure, but somehow I have a feeling that I will solve this mystery soon enough. After a while, my interest in the trinket fades, and I set it down on the end table. Strangely enough, it seems to be on the verge of falling over, no matter how I adjust the angle, and I spend some time attempting to keep it upright before giving up. The fire has gone out by now, and silence echoes in the room. Is Madeline still not back yet? It's almost dinner time. It's unlike her to take so long on a simple trip to the market. I look at the downpour outside. A worried sigh escapes my mouth. Maybe I should go and find her. I try to open the door, but it seems that Madeline has locked me in. Old fool. Does she take me for someone who would be silly enough to wander out of the house and get lost? What should I do then? I can't go anywhere until Madeline comes home. Feeling the beginning pains of hunger, I walk over to the kitchen in search of some food to ease the hunger. A note near the iron cast pot catches my attention. The water in this pot is hot. You can use it to drink your favorite tea. The tea tin is in the drawer, second from the bottom. Love, Madeline. How considerate. Now I can enjoy my tea while waiting for Madeline. I smile and take out the tea tin from the drawer before making my own cup of tea. I lean back in my armchair, sipping on the tea. The smell of the rain gradually seeps into the house, and even the warmth of the tea fails to ward off the cold. I stare into the unlit fireplace, shivering. Maybe I should relight it after all. Where are my matches? Oh, right. I always keep some matches in my dresser, just in case I need to light an oil lamp when I wake up at night to get something. Digging in the drawers, I take out a match and strike it before throwing it into the fireplace. The fireplace crackles into life, and I stroke it with a fire poker until it's warm, comforting flame.
Satisfied, I go back to my comfortable sitting position. But for the life of me, I cannot remember what I was doing just now before lighting the fire. I rub my temples tiredly, annoyed at myself. For some reason, as of late, I keep forgetting my actions the second I turn my head. Ironically, I can recall things in the past in vivid detail. A great deal of my past, in fact. Though, on the bright side, I suppose at my age, there is no point in thinking about recent things anyway. You mostly want to joke about the good old days, reminiscing about the brightest hours and the wildest moments of your journey on this earth, before eventually it comes to an end, as all things do. I feel nothing but peace and acceptance at the thought of what awaits me at the end of my time. After all, when you're 60 in this world, you are considered to have lived a long and good life. On top of that, it is said that when you have been married for 40 years, you must have led a fulfilling life. By this standard, I should have no regrets. After all, Madeline and I had a wonderful, loving marriage for decades. We even had a child together, who brought meaning and joy beyond all imagination into our life, despite the fact that she died in the plague a long time ago. Or maybe, not even that long ago. I can't be certain. Unfortunately, the clearest memories I retain are of things that happened in my teens and in the first part of my adulthood. But the rest gets murky, including the time after Maribel's birth. I stretch my arms, sighing contentedly at the pull of my cramped muscles, and almost knock a cup over on the table next to me. Oh, there's my cup of tea I have yet to finish. I pick it up delightedly and take another sip of tea, indulging in the memories that are rushing into my head. Forgotten, Not Lost, a Kinetic novel. This short novel will likely rip your heart out. Might just make you cry. But it'll probably just bring a nice warm smile to your face as well. At least it did for me. So hopefully I've given you guys a good idea of how this novel works, kind of how it starts, and either giving you an idea that this isn't for you, or giving you the inspiration to go out and make a purchase and experience this as I have. Please let me know down in the comments below if this video has inspired you to go purchase this and give this a read. And also, if you give this a read, please comment down below and let me know what you thought of your read of Forgotten Not Lost, a Kinetic novel. I'd love to read that comment. So I do want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching this video. This has been Zaxter99, and make sure you take care. Make sure you take care of somebody you love. Make sure you hug somebody you love today. We never know when our final day will be here. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next video.